Hi guys, welcome to the Wrestling Retrospective, and this is a very different kind of review to usual. As you can see, I'm in my living room. I'm usually in my office. I don't want to make too much noise and wake the neighbours up and stuff over what's happened, but I want to get this video out as soon as possible. So I moved all my stuff downstairs so I could upload this video as quickly as possible. So yeah, this isn't going to be a regular background. This is just a one-off because of just how big this event was, really. And yeah, it's not going to be a normal review as well, in the case of I'm going to do it back to front instead. I'm going to start with what happened at the end and then finish with what happened at the start. I'm sure you can understand why. You guys are all going to know what's happened. So yeah, like, just bear with me with it. I mean, I'm probably going to be stumbling my words a lot. I'm very tired. It's like 5:15 in the morning over here. So yeah, do forgive me that one. But yeah, let's get into the review. So I'm going to start off with the men's Elimination Chamber. I'm going to keep looking down. It's where my notes are. I can even do this if I don't know. I'll just read them as I've put them because I want to show you guys my real, like, in time reaction to what was going on, and then we'll get to what happened after the chamber, like after I've gone through it pretty much. But yeah, so Cena won the men's Elimination Chamber, as we all know. And yeah, the match itself was really good. I thought that McIntyre and Rollins starting off was a solid way to start the match, and they had a decent singles match just for the first 5 minutes they start off with. But yeah, it was like a really decent match to start off with. Cena coming in when he did changed the complexity of the match, and then we also started getting eliminations as well. Drew getting eliminated by Priest fairly, I don't want to say fairly quickly, but like, it's an elimination I definitely said to somebody at some point I could see happening. And yeah, that very much happened. You got to imagine the match is going to be McIntyre versus Priest, maybe versus Knight as well at Wrestlemania. But McIntyre and Priest are definitely going to have something to do with each other going forward, because this is the second time that McIntyre has been eliminated by Priest. Yeah, I feel like once McIntyre was eliminated, the match became a lot more unpredictable, or at least it did in my opinion. McIntyre was very heavily rumoured to be winning the match going into this, so yeah, for him to get eliminated first as well, it definitely threw me for a loop. And yeah, afterwards I was just getting more and more into the match the more we got into it. Yeah, I'm really glad that Punk got rid of Logan Paul. Yeah, after the Royal Rumble elimination and all that kind of stuff, yeah, it just made perfect sense for Punk to eliminate Paul. Will we get that match at WrestleMania? Maybe. It wouldn't surprise me if Punk kind of got added to a world title match as well because of the favour. But Logan Paul versus CM Punk would also be a very good match. The final 3 of this, Cena, Rollins and Punk, is like a dream match. Like, I know that we might have even had it in like 2014ish, or had some kind of version of it. But yeah, for like 2025 to have Cena, Punk and Rollins is like a dream triple threat match that I'd love to see just be a match itself at some point in the future. And then yeah, to have the final 2 be Punk and Cena took me back to when I was like 12 years old in 2011, 2012. It was awesome, and I was absolutely buzzing to see those 2 in the finals. I was happy no matter what happened as far as the winner goes. And yeah, the ending was really great. Cena and Punk haven't lost any part of their chemistry at all. It worked really well. And yeah, Rollins costing Punk the match itself was great. It made perfect sense. And it kind of carries on their feud, so I don't know whether they'll allow them to do each other at WrestleMania. But yeah, and Cena to get the win via cheating, it's like a very quick foreshadowing of what was going to come, but obviously no one was going to imagine what was going to come afterwards. But yeah, I know I picked Seth to win the match, and he came in 3rd, but I'm not, and I literally put on my notes, Cena is my favourite wrestler, and I'm buzzing that he won. Oh, I was so naive like 3 hours ago before that all went down. And then yes, we had the after the match, Cena stuck around, Cody came out, they shook hands. Then The Rock came out with Travis Scott. Travis Scott was just there. I mean, I assume he's going to be like the celebrity in this group, or like, I don't know. I'm not into Travis Scott's music or anything like that. I don't really know anything about him. So for me, he was just there. But yeah, we had the interaction, and then we had the part of it which just shocked everybody. where Cody told The Rock to go fuck himself, which I loved. I mean, he didn't quite do it as well as Christian Cage did, but it was still a pretty good moment. I don't know whether they'll take the swear word out in the kind of when you can like watch it on demand. It wouldn't shock me if they did, but I hope they don't. And then yeah, we had the moment of pause, and then Cena hugs Rhodes and turns heel. And to be honest, I don't know who I can trust anymore. I love John Cena. He's been my favourite since I was a little kid. You know, I got into wrestling in 2006 when Cena was probably like going into the height of his powers. And yeah, I'm a Cena kid through and through, and I don't know how to feel about this. Like, I've put messages to people saying I'm contemplating life right now because of what's happened. The WrestleMania build has just gone from like 25% to 1,000% in one night. It's just unbelievable. I can't believe they've actually pulled the trigger on Cena turning heel. It's probably going to go down to one of the biggest moments in WWE history. And yeah, my brother, he missed this show, and I'm so annoyed he missed this one because I know I would have loved to get his reaction. And yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like, I don't even know. I don't want to speculate where we're going to go after this, but we know we're getting Cody versus Cena at WrestleMania. In what kind of, if they're going to add a stipulation to the match, if they're not, like what they're going to do, I can't even begin to speculate it because it could be anything. But yeah, I cannot wait to just watch WWE the next few months just to see how this all works out, how it goes down, and then the match itself is going to be incredible. Hopefully we get to see more of Cena on WWE television going forward, like even if it's just via satellite, doing what The Rock used to do for Cena and Rock's build. At least we're seeing him on WWE television, because obviously he's not been around. He's done 2 appearances between the start of the year and now. Oh, sorry, 3 because of now. But yeah, man, what a moment. Like, you know, this is going to live forever, as we all know. And yeah, I just cannot wait to see the build to WrestleMania now. I'm fully invested, and yeah, I'm just absolutely buzzing for it. So then, moving on to Kevin Owens defeating Sami Zayn in their unsanctioned match. This had a really slow start to it, which I was very surprised about. But they went into the crowd and did a load of stuff, which I always find slows matches down. I don't like it when they go out into the crowd, because yeah, it really slows stuff down. You've got to punch, and then they move, and then they punch, and then they move. And yeah, they did 2 table spots out in the crowd, which I thought was really cool, and it was something different to be out in the crowd for. You normally just see 1 table spot, and it's like a convenient table to be around, and it's completely clear. Whereas these 2 table spots had all like waters and popcorn, all that kind of stuff like that. Yeah, it was a decent added to the match. But yeah, it kind of, I don't know, I expected a lot more out of this one to start with. But once we got to the double table spot where KO pushed Sami off the top rope and he went through 2 tables, it kind of picked up a little bit from there. And what I found with this match compared to other unsanctioned matches that I've liked before is that the moves that they did were more impactful as just like hurting an opponent, whereas it wasn't like an extreme match, like where there's lots of blood and lots of chair shot. I know we had the barbed wire steel chair, but it's normally like a lot more than that. Whereas like you had stuff like the brainbuster on the table, or the half and half suplex on the brainbuster on the chair, sorry. And then the half and half on the same chair again that got absolutely fucked up, that poor chair. But yeah, the vibe changed when Sami Zayn did bring out the barbed wire steel chair. I'm very confused as to why Kevin Owens didn't bleed after taking the chair to the head. Obviously, he got a what's it called now? Move. He got tripped into it essentially, and went head first into the barbed wire chair and didn't bleed, which really makes no sense because that's not how barbed wire works. But you could tell his eye got really fucked up. But yeah, so for the match itself, it was fine. Like, I expected a little bit more out of it. Like, they were suggesting they were going to absolutely end each other, and it didn't really have that feel, not till like the final parts of the match. Yeah, the silence of the crowd after the chair. Kevin Owens put the chair over the neck of Sami Zayn and put him into the post twice, and that's kind of when the crowd went silent, and you could kind of feel the impact of that, and they couldn't tell like if Sami was really hurt or not, and it really added. The crowd were like a very big part of this match, and obviously with them both being Canadian, they were always going to be a big part of this match. And yeah, when they all went silent, it like made the match feel way more important, and like just gave that really uncomfortable atmosphere to it. And then yeah, we got the 2 powerbombs on the ring apron, which we know has taken out Sami before from when they were in NXT, and I know they've done that spot plenty of times with their wins, but obviously after the 2 chair post shots, yeah, it just felt way more impactful, and Kevin Owens would just put him in the ring and pinned him, which makes perfect sense. You know, I did expect Sami to kick out because of like how we've seen Sami in the past kind of be Sammy Hogan, and it was kind of he'll fight back up and then win the match, and that wasn't the case. Owens literally rolled him in, pinned him, and that was it, which will make perfect sense in a fight. And then, yeah, Kevin Owens took off some of the covering of the floor. He was going to do a pile driver on it, and Randy Orton returned, which I'm not surprised about. I actually expected Randy Orton to return during the match itself. The only thing I would have done differently with Randy's return is I wouldn't have had it with the music. I would have had Randy come out of the crowd, or just had Randy run out and attack him. I wouldn't have had voices hit and him kind of slowly make his way to the ring. And yeah, it just didn't feel as an impactful return as it possibly could have. But that's only like me really nitpicking at it. Very happy to see Randy Orton. And I probably would have had Randy do the punt as well. I feel like it would have been way more impactful in Canada and stuff like that, having him do the punt. Instead, I assume they'll now probably save it till WrestleMania, which makes perfect sense. But yeah, for me, Randy's return didn't hit as big as I wanted it to, or as I expected it to. But I'm very happy Randy's back. As I've said before, I fully assume Randy to be facing Kevin Owens at WrestleMania, which is a match I'm very looking forward to. I'm hoping they add like an extreme stipulation to that match as well, like a street fight or a no holds barred match, or that kind of thing. But yeah, it's a feud I'm definitely looking forward to. So following that, we will cover Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus defeating Nia Jax and Candice LeRae in a tag team match. And this to me was a solid tag match. I don't really have much to say on this one. There was nothing really of note that happened. It was a big babyface win for the crowd, especially now that we've seen what happened with Cena. It makes sense that they've kind of gone for a very big babyface win with Stratton and Trish. Yes, Stratton getting the pin here makes a lot of sense. She needs that momentum going into facing Charlotte at WrestleMania. Her booking, like since Charlotte has won that Royal Rumble, has not been very good at all. So yeah, she needed this win for sure. Yeah, it was very clear who was going to win the match going in, which kind of took away from it, in my opinion. Like, I don't like it when it's super predictable. Like, obviously, you know, we saw it with the Elimination Chamber matches, at least more the men's one. Unpredictability is a lot better. And yeah, this was 100% never going to see Trish lose in Canada, especially here. And Stratton doesn't need the loss here. That would be a terrible thing to do. But yeah, for me, this probably should have been done on SmackDown beforehand in Toronto, and then they probably could have put a title match here instead. It would have fit a lot better. But I'd say no real complaints. It was a solid tag team match. It was very good, very entertaining. It just, yeah, that's all it was though. It was just fine. It was just solid. It was decent, you know. But yeah, I don't really have much to say on this one. It was just there, and it fit well. And as I said, it was a big babyface win, which made a lot of sense. And finally, getting to the match that started the night, which was the Women's Elimination Chamber match, where Bianca Belair defeated Naomi, Liv Morgan, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, and Roxanne Perez. Well, no one really beat Naomi, but we'll get to that, like literally right now, where we saw the return of Jade Cargill finally. And yes, we finally have a reason to get invested in this feud, hopefully, if they play it right over the next few weeks. And yeah, for me, it was a fantastic way to start this Elimination Chamber match. They had it so Liv was in front of Naomi first. They were all wearing, like, what I like about it is like little details. Liv, Bianca, and Naomi all wore white, and Jade Cargill came out wearing black. So you could tell, like, I don't know, like, maybe I'm looking too much into it, but colour scheme wise, you knew she was going for one of those three. And I like how Liv kind of not overreacted, but she reacted naturally to, like, she thought she was going to get, like, the shit kicked out of her. She, like, covered up as well. She was about to cry. And then, yeah, Naomi got the absolute living piss beaten out of her. Bianca Belair is slamming against the pod, trying to get out and to try and help Naomi, and she just cannot escape that pod, which is quite funny because the German name for this pay-per-view is called literally No Escape, because they can't call it the Elimination Chamber for obvious reasons. And yeah, it kind of just fits really well, and I just thought about that on like the top of my head. But yeah, what an awesome way. Cargill clearly taken out by Naomi. Does Bianca Belair have something to do with it? Maybe, we don't know yet. Maybe she's the mastermind behind it all. Maybe she's not, we don't know. But yeah, Naomi's the one that took out Jade Cargill, which I called it ages ago. I'm very proud of the fact that I called it ages ago. But then eventually, like, everyone thought it was going to be Naomi. Like, having it be Liv and Raquel would have been such an easy choice. So yeah, the fact that it was Naomi works really well. I assume this will set up some kind of WrestleMania match between Jade and Naomi. It will make it's the natural way to go with this one. But yeah, what a way to start Elimination Chamber match. Is something we haven't seen before, so it was very unique and added to this match 100%. And then to have Bianca Belair be let out as the first person out in the match, I thought was ultra shithousery from WWE. because essentially Naomi's just been taken out on a stretcher. We count down from like 15 seconds, I think it was, from when Liv's just stood in the ring by herself. And yeah, just to see Bianca Belair's door open after that, and she's absolutely distraught. She's next to crying, and now she's got to go do a full like 35-minute, 40-minute match. Yeah, it was like fantastic, really good way to do it. And then yeah, once we got into the match, it was really good. It was really solid. Again, the women really know how to do Elimination Chamber matches. The one last year was really good, and this one was really good as well. It wasn't as good as the men's, I think, in my opinion. The men's definitely got my match of the night. But yeah, for me, this was a really solid chamber match. Bayley and Liv, I found, really didn't do much. Roxanne had a really good showing in this one, and really proved why that she's main roster ready. Even if she doesn't end up coming up straight away, I assume she'll probably come up during the draft that we apparently have after Wrestlemania. And yeah, I mean, to be fair, like the brutal hair whip at the end from Bianca to Liv on top of the pod was grim. It was, I'd probably put it as the worst one. Like, it's worse than the one that Sasha took at WrestleMania 37, and I said that one's like the worst one to date. But no, that one topped it. I think Liv bled from it as well, which is just brutal. And then yeah, the final sequence as well was really good between Liv and Bianca. It made perfect sense. You had the two people that were arguably favourites going in, being the final two. I honestly didn't know who was going to win the match. I was reacting all over the place when Liv was starting to get on top, because I really didn't want Liv to win this match. I think Liv and Rhea has been done to death, and we didn't need it again. So yeah, to have Bianca win the match, I think is a breath of fresh air for Rhea as far as fees go for the World Heavyweight Champion, for the Women's World Championship. But yeah, I think, yes, it was a solid chamber match. It was probably the second best match of the night, in my opinion. I say the women really do know how to do chambers really well. Bianca's like becoming very good at chamber matches as well. She's won like a few at this point. And yeah, like the beginning, go back and watch the reaction of people and just Liv Morgan, and just seeing the moment of Jade Cargill's return is really cool. And yeah, as I say, go check it out. Like, the whole thing is fantastic and a really unique way to start the chamber. So those are my thoughts and opinions on Elimination Chamber 2025. I do apologise again for the kind of raw and kind of I don't know if it's unprofessional, but just a bit of the raggedy version of a review. I don't normally do them straight after the pay-per-views. I wait maybe the day after or maybe 2 days after, so I can kind of go through my thought process of what I want to say and stuff. But this is just way too big not to do one just straight away, especially when it comes to Cena and the men's Elimination Chamber matches and The Rock and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it won't be like this all the time. Trust me, it'll be back to normal, I think, for Revolution predictions, which honestly, if I'm an AEW fan, I'm worrying, because AEW is about to become very irrelevant right now, because the road to WrestleMania is about to be probably one of the best ones we've seen, probably since last year, but one of the best ones we've ever seen, because this is going to be fantastic, and I can't wait to see it all go down. But yeah, do put in the comments down below what you think of the Cena turn, what you think is going to happen during the Cena turn, anything else, the Jade Cargill stuff, what do you think of that? Like, loads of stuff to talk about in the comments. I will respond to every comment. Like, if you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it, you know. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I do apologise if my voice sounds really fucked. I was shouting a lot during this pay-per-view, especially for the Cena stuff and the Jade Cargill stuff. And I'm also very tired. It's like nearly 6 o'clock in the morning here. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for putting up with this kind of weird way of doing reviews. As I said, it will not be the same all the time. It's literally just a one-off. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching again.